Hi, hello, welcome to the Galactic Councilorship Report brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the Pisces rising. If you do not know your rising sign, start with your North Node. Depending on the month of the chart, everything else becomes less accurate if you don't start from your rising. It goes downhill from there. Start with your rising. For any Western astrology, it's always the most accurate. If you don't know your rising, start with your North Node. Okay, so the sun has moved into the sign of Gemini. We're a little late with this, so I'm aware. And listen, for a Pisces rising, if the sun, or for Pisces energy, mostly rising, if the sun is moving through the sign of Gemini, this is a fourth house event. So the fourth house is where we'll gain enlightenment, enumeration, reinvigoration, healing. Solutions also will have increased energy, vitality in the area where we're kind of go away from the world. Typically, when we retreat or when we, you know, go home for the day, even if it's just going back to ourselves, it's where we have our like privacy. Perhaps we can call it the layer or the vanity where we put on our makeup or the inside of our car. It also deals with like mother energy, so like where we self-soothe, self-nurture, when we go through our harmony. If we have a mother, it can be our relationship with the mother. If we are a mother, it could be our children's viewpoint towards us. It's privacy, comfort. It's pretty much what the fourth house does. It does a few extra things, but we got to layer that. We're going to be using This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman to impose the guidance. Okay, and she's over at Liminal 11 Publishing, at least for this deck. Okay, dear? So we're going to lay down these 4 cards. We will lay more cards after this initial energy here. But those will be to clarify, modify. This will be the overall core crystallized concrete energy as we're gathered here today for the Galactic Consulship, covering the Pisces rising energy. If you do not know your rising, start with your North Node. Again, my name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I will be your oracle today. Vertex of Abundance is the Galactic Temple of Ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. My dear, if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Information is in the show notes or the about section or the description box, as well as between the Hamza. Not always, but usually there is some type of summary. And if the video is a little too long, or if I'm speaking a little bit too slowly, you can always speed it up. It'll reduce the length up to 1/2. But if you go that fast, I will sound like a chipmunk. Okay, let us begin. We have the Judgment, 5 of Swords, Magician, 2 of Cups. Again, the Judgment, 5 of Swords, Magician, 2 of Cups. One more time. The Judgment, 5 of Swords, Magician, 2 of Cups. And, you know, this Judgment here is typically like a final decision. It could be a few more things. It's actually one of the sovereign deities of the universe, one of the operators of the universe. What I love about this card is it's coming out of the unified realm. So we can say ninth dimension, but I just call it the unified realm. Now, sometimes it deals with Shiva, but it also deals with our eternal life, our eternal soul, our eternal, like, you know, incarnation. So it can be the calling on our life. Okay, it can be standing before the throne of the divine God, if that's something that you resonate with, the Lord Almighty, if that's something we resonate with. It can be, you know, resurrection, but it's actually the sense of redemption and salvation. So with the 5 of Swords here, this gives the Judgment card a little bit of a reversal meaning. Actually, all these cards here except the 2 of Cups. So 5 of Swords it's a lose-lose situation. It's when you're short-sighted. So if we're dealing with another individual, there can be some type of open enemy, inimical energy. It would be love, hate. Basically, it could be a block or a betrayal. Okay. If it's ourself, it could be standards and boundaries. We could be holding something down, keeping something at bay. In general, this is a revocation or a withdrawal of some kind. Um, Magician is our craft, our talent, our skill, our ability, our intellect, reasoning, communication. Now, if we're dealing with another person, it would be their intention. If we're dealing with ourselves, it would be our willpower, what we're trying to assert. Magic is the ability to turn an idea into manifestation. And then we have the Two of Cups. So this is union, being on the same page, feeling a bond, a closeness, a connection. Again, it's very much about being on the same page, and it doesn't always mean with another person. It could be filial or congenial. It could even be spiritual. It doesn't even need to be with two corporeal beings. It could be one person is corporeal, the other one isn't. It could be that there's something that ties them or relates them together that's positive and beneficial. The Two of Cups can mean many things. It's one of the yoking cards. It could literally mean somebody that went to your same alma mater. It could be somebody that's from your hometown. It could be somebody that is from the company that you work for. It could be somebody that lives in your building. As long as it's mutually beneficial, nourishing, needs exchange, it's there. There's other cards about yoking that are not always beneficial, the devil being one of them. Okay. So one thing that's clear here, there's Two of Cups coming out after these two minor arcana. It's saying that 2 weeks ago, there was some type of decision. All right. Some kind of, I'm hearing the word announcement, but this is a revelation, typically one that's wide reaching. It can expand the rest of our life. It can expand our eternal soul into the next lifetime, or it could go across the realm, the place, the plane, the dimension, and affect a lot of many different people. With the Five of Swords here, there can have been an announcement that of something being revoked or something being withdrawn. It also could be that there's a little bit of love-hate energy. Five of Swords in and of itself is love-hate. So it's going to be interesting to see these cards get clarified. I want to check one thing right quickly. Vertex of Abundance is a galactic temple. Ooh, it's a galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. From Los Scarabeo, we will be using the Vida Sibila Daily Oracle to deliberate the findings for any type of, correlative or corresponding energy. We have a double Venus energy. And the first and the last line, I always kind of check on that. So let's get in here, fit in here, and see what this is about. I just want to know what is the double Venus energy, because it could be that this bond, this union is getting revoked. Somebody's made a decision and they might take action or something. And they made the decision a few weeks ago. Okay, well, we got a hit on that. If somebody else wants to come towards us, they want to acknowledge the union, the bond, the connection. And something here is kind of blocking it, or things are taking a little bit too long because something's hidden in broad daylight here. Falsita, it's kind of obvious, but maybe not to us because we're acting in a way that's suddenly different. We're acting in a way that they don't quite understand yet because it's a departure from the usual. And they're needing to put something to bed. So this is something that's been going on for a long time. We're no longer who or were, how or what we were when whatever this energy, entity, ideology originated, whenever it kind of came to life and took form. It ain't like that no more, no more. So no more, no more. Yeah, I'm not hearing hit the road, Jack, but I'm feeling it. Okay, so we got this Five of Wands. That's a double five already. With the Star card, yeah, well, Falsita, I can see that now. The Five of Swords in the Star card could be burning off false light, especially with the Page of Swords here. Page of Swords, Five of Swords is basically saying somebody's feeling a little bit of hatred. They're feeling so, like I was saying, Page of, got distracted. The cat's boy got caught somewhere and she was freaking out. Um, I'm getting agitated is the better word. Page of Swords, Five of Swords is somebody feeling hatred or feeling blocked. The block would be because something was withdrawn, revoked. Also, Page of Swords with the Star card can mean somebody has their Venus in the seventh house, the 11th house, or in the sign of Aquarius. They may also be, to a much lesser degree, some type of Aries rising. I'm not getting Aries yet, but I am getting the Gemini Sagittarius. There's also some Leo energy here. Somebody may be a Leo rising. If they are a Leo rising, they would have their Saturn in the first house in Leo as a Leo rising. So that's a very kind of indomitable person. They have a large weight gravity as well. So they're karmic. Karmic is not always bad. They may be instant karma dealing with them though. And then again, there's a confirmation already for this Venus in Aquarius. So we might have been inimical to ourselves. We might have gotten in the own way, Pisces, to our own path. Because the double five means like a decline, a debilitation, a depletion of some kind, destabilization, taking an L, forced change here, or leakage. Did I say 501 star card, 10 of cups, page of swords? Because now we have the ace of wands, empress, king of cups, eight of swords. Yeah, I'm going to just say this. Our current self was a little shaky, a little bit lopsided, because we were doing better before, and then we made a shift, we made a change. And it very much was, I don't know entirely everything yet, but it very much was about our free will. We chose free will over divine will because it made sense, which means for a moment there, we were not guided by faith. We were guided by sight, and it should be that we're guided by faith, not by sight. So we chose just for a minuscule of a moment free will over divine will. And what's the difference? And why does that? Most people, the people out there not on the path, not chosen, not doing light work, they could totally live most of their life under free will and be fine. They'll have a couple, Jesus take the wheel moments where they, you know, make it through something unscathed, and it was mainly their ancestors that helped them out with that. And then there are other people who are on a divine path where if they start going down their own road and not the road that was preordained for them, things get very difficult. And it sounds like horrible, like who would want to, okay, but it's because there's something very sacred, special that we came here to do. And if we do those things, we get blessings that we cannot fathom. It's never going to make logical English sense to us. It's never going to make the actual, factual, whatever, what have you. It's not going to be a rhyme or reason or a rational thing. Because our future self is not doing so well unless we make a pivot to the path. We need to get back in alignment, mainly with our goddess. It might be with the matriarch of our line, the matrilineal ancestors, Chambasi. The world knows it as Venus Oshun. It can be that we need to just do more work with our household goddess. There's boundaries and restrictions placed here. We're almost like shielded from something. So it would look like a blockage. And yeah, we do have to yield Eight of Swords to some type of restriction, regulation, rule, restraint. We're being wrangled down. But it's almost like a karmic adjudication because there is a calling in our life. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, King of Cups. We were chosen to do something and be something. And it doesn't matter how many blockages we're going through, Queen of Cups, we do have the love of the divine. We're needing connection, Queen of Cups, Two of Cups. We're wanting connection, King of Cups, Two of Cups. We're wanting fulfillment, King of Cups, Ten of Cups. We're needing fulfillment, King of Cups, Two of Cups. There may also be some union, communion, partnership here. We have the Two of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the King and Queen of Cups as well. But that could also just talk about the eternal kingdom, the divine. This last row, we have the Hierophant, Four of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. So there may be some type of institutional estate or legacy. It's confirmed by the Hierophant. Typically, that would talk about corporation with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Pentacles here. Corporation, whatever. It could be a legacy as well. Family legacy, family dynasty with the Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. This is actually talking about our eternal life, our eternal soul. We may have a kingdom spouse, and we need to get godly. We could use other words. God is generator, operator, destroyer. It's the being that animates whatever form that we're living in, whether it's our environment, surrounding location, whether it's our conscious reality, whether it's the universe, however high we can take it, whatever resonates. God is basically whatever being is driving the ship. When you're driving your car, you're the God of your car. Think of it that way. What gets behind the vehicle and drives it around? Our humans are our vehicle. Our body is a vehicle for our soul. God is a vehicle for the universe is a vehicle for God. Think of it that way. So, Page of Swords, Four of Swords, we're feeling concussed or like we need resuscitation or rejuvenation, concealment even from the external world so we can heal internally. There's some kind of adjudication here as well. Celestial court with the Four of Swords judgment. Because we're coming from this awakening or revelation going towards having to heal and recover from some kind of standards and boundaries. Something got revoked and we need to put ourselves together after it got revoked. Basically, according to whatever spiritual connection we're having, we're yielding. We have to yield to some type of authority that's spiritual in its nature, because there's no king or queen of swords present. We have the king and queen of cups, but eight of swords is yielding to some type of authority. The king or queen would tell us what that authority was. We understand the product of it. The four and five of swords is saying that, okay, there was some type of ruling that came down from the divine. Now we have eight of wands, emperor, 10 of wands. This was a karmic cycle. We have 3 10s on the board. With the four of cups, Scorpio, four of pentacles. Now we have, and there's that queen of swords. Okay. So there's an austerity here. Queen of swords, four of swords. We are needing a pensive pause. We're needing some stasis because we kind of got set down. And I just heard set the F down. We have a triple four, a triple 10. Yeah, I just heard that. We just got set the F down. Okay, well, that's rather strong. So God had to sit us down and be like, listen, you acting a fool. You can't go any further down this path. I'm going to stop you right then and there. I'm going to knock it off. You understand? Go ahead and pop off at the mouth. Talk back and see what's up. But that's kind of how this is reading. And okay, let's get in here. Let me pull out the wand because this is juicy. Clarifying this discernment that we're getting is that there's something to secure because something's being withdrawn. And what's being withdrawn is the things that get quickened and blessed and ramp up and speed up. And the God is vectoring eight of wands. Whatever gets blessed and gets juiced up, it's set down for a moment. And also, there's something else that energy is going to work for. Some things work out very quickly. It's a quickening, eight of wands, and some things get paused, eight of swords. So the divine is saying, like, listen, there's something else I want to quicken. There's something else I want to speed up. Because whatever you got going on right now, I gotta sit you down. I gotta put a halt. If something was revoked, not suspended, revoked. It's a no more. And I will be honest, there's a little bit more here because something here was a false light. We weren't really following the right direction. Something here was also fake. It couldn't really be around our energy. If we had people around our environment, surrounding location, they were frenemies or just straight up enemies, open enemies, all the same. We were getting wounded and hurt by energies, entities, ideologies we may not have even known were attempted to hurt us. We knew that they were around, but we didn't know that they had ill intent, malintent, ill intent. Because in order to gain system, structures, foundations, emperor, in order to gain self-governance, self-mastery, emperor, we were going to experience Two of Cups, Five of Swords. So certain connections, Two of Cups, were going to intimate unions, like bonds, close connections. Not general connections, Three of Cups, but close connections, Two of Cups. These close connections were going to get burned off, canceled out, Five of Swords. And we were going to have to go through that process as well. It wasn't going to be quick. There was a Four of Swords involved in that. Because we have some kind of bigger, brighter, and better. There's some type of public service that we're doing. The Queen of Swords star card, Aquarius moon, Scorpio rising. There's also some type of Cancer rising energy here for the Cancer rising. Okay, Queen of Swords, Emperor, that's a Cancer rising. How do you know? Well, basically the bottom of the chart is Libra. Emperor, Queen of Swords. To a lesser degree, it could be a Libra moon, but I'm not getting that energy. It's really saying, actually, no, there's more Jupiter at the bottom of the chart, which is saying that nobody can come in right now. We're getting protected. It's slowing down people that are coming through because something here is not divine. And the potentiality for evil or for chaos or for criminality is going to grow. Five of Wands could be well, here with the Five of Swords, not Five of Wands, it's an outlaw or a higher level demon. We call that an archdemon and archon. Something here is just not right. Because we're starting out with this awakening where we understood the calling on our life, and then we go towards something we did that was short-sighted. It didn't really bring us anything but wounding, Four of Swords. And in the middle, we have to decide whether we're going to use our gift or be stuck having to resort to only, I'm going to say this, and excuse my language, get more money through love. But to be honest, the love will be watered down, tapped down, and it might not be about money. But we're never going to get to this thing that we're chasing because we're not in alignment. There's something off about how our energy is manifesting in the world, and it's because we're on the wrong path. Or we were, because the stop could have happened. We could have decided 2 weeks ago to not go down the path that we're going right now. Or said differently, and I feel offensive saying what I'm saying, or the decision to shift the path that we were going down got acknowledged 2 weeks ago. So we could have halted more than 2 weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago the heavens agreed with us. So I'm gonna pull this love energy because this is talking less about love, but we got some partnership cards here. So from Etsy, We will be using the Pop of Love Oracle to deliberate the findings for any type of partnership energy related to union. And Pop of Love Oracle is by Violet by the Tarot over on Etsy. So we have Divine Masculine here. We also have the Emperor. Then we have Wordless. The overall energy is the Divine Masculine. Small offering, forgiveness. So something might have been going on since fall, or said differently, something is starting to be depleted. We don't have any more wiggle room. We don't have any more leg. We might be on our last leg. Now, this Divine Masculine may be in their shadow because it's coming out in reverse. If it's not, there's a narrative. There's a message they want to tell you or us. I'm working on my Divine Masculine side. I need to be more assertive, confident, speak up for myself. I can no longer bow out to things and situations, bow out of things and situations when I become fearful, but fight for what I love, and that is you. There's a lack of words here. Somebody's gone speechless. Too much in their head and unable to express their emotions rationally. There is so much for me to tell you, but I'm unable to express myself in a rational way. So I would rather keep quiet. But the thing is that it was a small offer. Or if there's a third party, this third party, because I'm not getting that. But we do have triplicates. We have 3 10s, 3 4s. We have a pair of 5s. There is a 5 of Wands. I'm sorry, 5 of Wands in the Judgment, it says something is either demonic or criminal. But with the 10 of Wands, it would also say, okay, so this was a karmic lesson that became a longer karmic cycle. Something should have been obvious early from the jump, and we was the last to know. We was late to that lesson when it was obvious for quite a long time. Now there's forgiveness here, and it's coming from the other side. I'm seeking your forgiveness even if I can't utter the words. I'm trying also to forgive myself for treating you unfairly, but I am hoping I can quiet my guilt. Yeah, I'm hearing that Crimea River song. So that was the King and Queen of Cups. Let's have a look. We'll be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven Tarot to deliberate the findings for any type of pairings, and that's when you have a double this, a triple this, la di da, yada yada. Okay, and then the twin flame card just came out, Temperance. So tell me more about this King and Queen, please. Okay, message from the other side. The overall energy is the Page of Cups. Shared energy is the 6 of Wands. So we might not know that we've won 7 of Wands. The thing is that we are in a coveted position. We were in an exalted status, but we were focused on either being liked, having things go easy, or we don't know that we've been awarded some type of connection. And I gotta say, awarded 6 of Wands, you do win that. 6 of Wands is receiving glory, so there's some sense of striving and competing, but we have here in either the higher realm or if there's a third party, it could be either or, same energy, different manifestation depending on what your rising sign is. 7 of Wands, especially in the presence of 6 of Wands, means one of two things. It can be an alert that our position is slipping, usually because there's an attack. If it's not because of attack, there's some kind of anxiety, which means we could act rashly, and it might further compromise our position. Because this other side is Page of Swords, and the overall energy is Page of Cups. So the Page of Swords is delayed news. Something is either being learned late, being said late, being shared late, or it's bad news. And that's the Queen and King of Cups. There's a connection here. And this is saying about higher self, lower self, former self, future self, but it's also saying this could be the masculine, but the masculine's over on our side and we're supposed to grow into this energy. So it might not be the masculine because 85% of the audience is feminine, whether identified or assigned. So that would mean that we are gonna leave the nurturing and gestation place, the creativity and nurturing place, and which means conception, gestation, and we're gonna go towards the action implementation phase, which is inception. So we're gonna go towards our duties and obligations here, which then these 3 4s with the emperor would talk about, okay, building something, and it's a legacy. So we're pulling on these 3 4s. We have a triple 4 here, and this is the 2 of wands with the 10 of pentacles. Yeah, we have a double king and a 3 of swords. So there was a third party once upon a time, but now it's coming time for us to manifest this connection because the other side thought we weren't interested, or maybe we were a little bit too hard with our boundaries and our barriers. Our energy wasn't very easy to navigate, but that's usually a sign that somebody's not being clear on their intentions. Because if somebody is being clear on their intentions and we're still hard to navigate, that's your answer. Because if there's a third party, they made a commitment and this other side wanted fun. What we seemed like was a brick wall, unassailable. When really the overall situation is 2 of wands. This was something that we would have chosen if it made sense. So there was some need to learn and to evolve in terms of what to build, how to build. The 10 of Pentacles has been coming out a lot. We have it here. This was always something for us to work on. You know, it's giving me 2 messages. First of all, for ourselves, there's something here for us to work on. We had to take either a break from love or a break from our own path that we were working on because it wasn't fully in alignment with the path that was preordained and destined. And I'm just gonna say, we may think whatever we really want, but there's something better for us, and it's something that we were born to do, and it just needs to be set. The second thing is there was an awareness or an awakening or a revelation about the desire for some kind of union, vow, oath, Hierophant, 2 of Cups, union, vow, oath, some type of creative new beginning. And we both wanted the same thing, 5 of Wands, but we were going about it in a different way, so much so that there were either too many cooks in the kitchen, or there was some type of contestation, competition, but there's no corresponding court cards with this 5 of Wands, so I have to take it as a karmic lesson. And there's also a double 5 here. So that's usually, let's look at that double 5. That's usually decline, debilitation, destabilization, something becoming degraded. Oh, this is double 5. Somebody didn't feel wanted. That's literally what I'm hearing. But yeah, they felt left out in the cold, abandoned, or something like that. But what they don't realize is that we wanted to build. And somebody probably didn't know that they were chosen, and the message came in late. They needed to be invited out to play or to have fun. They probably didn't see us as fun, but they saw us as dry or distant or cold or prickly even. And again, it's given me two sides of the story. One is a relationship, and one is a relationship with the divine. So we really need to take care of both. Because if a man is a planet, means you're putting him before the divine. A man is not a planet if you're choosing to serve the divine with that man. Then they're a companion, they're a partner, they're a companion. So let's look at this triple 10. But first, the eights need to be looked at, they said. Okay. So we're going to look at this pair of eights. Like eight, that could be spell work, could be manipulation, could be a lesson from spending a lot of time somewhere. Eight of Cups, needing to mature, needing to go on pilgrimage, or needing to withdraw. We have a double eight again. Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups. Here we have the Eight of Wands and Eight of Swords on the board. So overall energy, Eight of Cups. Shared energy with us and one other party is the Eight of Wands. Things should be expanding, speeding up. We've spent enough time here. If there is a third party, Queen of Swords. So now they are estranged or they're committed to blocking. If there's no third party, this would be who we are, what we are in the higher realm, the 5D. This other side, the second party, not the third, is the Page of Swords. Something here is delayed in terms of this message, or they're scrutinizing. Because we're Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. We think we've planted enough seeds or whatever, and usually we would have, but there's nothing corresponding. So there's a strategy, a tactic, an agenda, a motive that needs to be defined, clarified, and ensured. Because now that we check on this pair of or triple 10, the message that we're getting is that there's love here. Ten of Pentacles is where we could have been, but again, this keeps coming on the board. This King of Swords with the Page of Wands. Somebody wants to have fun. They want to play. But we seem cold or distant or prickly. When really, they probably don't know how to talk to us, but doesn't mean that because we're the king and they're the page. So that means we know more than they do. We're going to need to give them an assist. Now, there is a pair of queens here as well. But we have the Empress. Oh my gosh, we have the Empress, the Emperor, and then the King and Queen of Cups. So there's love here. And I don't know how I missed this because I was really saying, like, we're on the wrong path. We're chasing this money when God gave us this divine calling on our life. And then it's also saying there's a kingdom spouse here. So let me go back and do the Emperor and the Empress. I completely missed the love, but the love was creeping through. Okay, so Four Swords, Seven of Wands. It's saying here that we almost canceled out a relationship. Um, five of That's the Five of Swords. I couldn't even say it. That's the Ten of Cups. So five is revocation, 10 is cancel, three is suspend, and that's all in the swords. So we were a little too short-sighted and it almost killed something. Now, it might not be that we were short-sighted. Another word for that is our standards and boundaries, or we were holding our ground in some kind of way. And I don't mean standing our ground, Seven of Wands. I mean, we were holding whatever position that we were holding. But there's some healing and recuperation here. Okay, I'm starting to hear narrative, so this is love, and I suddenly got very tired because I'm in the love energy now, and it's exhausting. When I was like looking at it and saying like, "Oh, we're chasing our own dreams here," but God gave us some kind of path to walk. That made more sense to me. But now that the love has creeped in, I'm exhausted, and I like took the energy out of me. So overall energy is the Four of Swords, and I'm looking at the Emperor, and the Empress, and the shared energy is the Seven of Wands. So either we're both exhausted and anxious, or we're both healing and needing to hold our positions, defend our ground. Because we're now in this Ten of Cups and they're in the Three of Pentacles. They want to work towards a long-term relationship, or they need to let this go. And that they're somewhat clear of this. Page of Cups is it. So they're feeling connected to us. Let's look at this pair of fives. Because I'm hearing you must have had me so confused with some of the guy crying a river. You know, I'm hearing that. I'm not your soul. You must have had me confused. Cry me a river. And the narrative that I was hearing is that we weren't particularly, we were honest, we were open, we gave them a way in, but we weren't caring about, we weren't exactly trying to be more palatable or trying to make it more comfortable for them. And that, like, we really kind of went cold. It's that's what I'm sensing. So this is, whenever I see there's a pair of pages with a single knight, it means that there's all we need to do is get on the same page. Because we're here saying Nine of Swords, like, okay, this either backfired, we're either haunted by this, we're either in some kind of shame or guilt, or this is a distressing situation. Because there's a lot of being left out in the cold. Five of Wands, I mean, Five of Pentacles, and then I'm Nine of Wands. Knight of Wands is meaning somebody's coming back. They were off somewhere else and now they're returning. And it's in most decks, the Knight of Wands is the returner. There sometimes is another card, but the Knight of Wands in this deck is the returner. So that's frustrating because I'm getting that we've already let this go. We've already kind of moved on. We've already kind of shielded ourselves and put boundaries. And if this is the Two of Cups, then why isn't there the Lovers? We have three fours and no Four of Wands. So when there's three fours, it means suppress, repress, oppress, depress. And it's organized and it's manipulative. If the Four of Wands would be here, it would actually be moving in together. Now, the Four of Wands is here because it's inherent in the Emperor. The 2, 3, and 4 of Wands is all the energy of the Emperor. But the Emperor is about self-governance, self-mastery. And then we've definitely been left to cry. And this other side feels rejected and we're feeling rigid. Like we want to shield ourselves, period. Shielding yourself, Four of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. With the Four of Swords, it's a confirmation. So let's do this clarification. This reading's getting pretty long, but we need to do the clarification. What is this Four of Swords, Queen of Swords? Because it's the message is coming through and we might not like it. We're available, but the love might have gone, and this other person made a mistake. Dispiacere. They did they went and did something, got themselves stuck somewhere for a while. They are not happy with the results that they're getting. So Speedy, whatever manifested for them when they took a different path or did whatever, they're like, hey, I thought this was this way, or I made this decision because I didn't have all the facts, And now that the realities come through, pull through, now that I start to manifest things or things are starting to settle on this path, I absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. I wish you were the option that I chose. And we're like, listen, now I'm l'amica, not l'amante. Now I'm friendly, I'm not romantic. So, for you, bye fanculo. Go shut up your. I can't. The feelings are gone. The thrill is gone. Okay, that this is what I'm getting. So this is kind of yanking me in different directions, and the only time I feel safe and settled and secure is when I look at it as like we need to go towards our divine path, not this free will, which will only get us half the things that we could imagine. And if we go towards divine will, it'll be twice as much as we could ever imagine. That's the only thing that I feel unclenched and I can settle into that. When you start bringing this love in, it's like, I'm itchy, I'm scratchy, I'm pulled in multiple directions. And I don't like that. See, God don't bless no mess. If it comes through with confusion and karma and chaos, it's not the thing. So La Falsita, there's something here hidden in plain sight. We have a triple four, yo. Down here we have a triple four, and up here we have a triple four. Okay, so four of spades, four of hearts, four of diamonds. Well, that's a good sign. We also have two kings here. King of hearts, king of spades. So if any time it was to be okay, that would be the way that it would be okay. But why you gotta be like that? I'm hearing if at first you don't succeed, brush yourself off and try again. See, that's just the thing. I don't know how to advise a person on how to go back or how to start and stop and start and stop and do the whiplash little thing. Why have to deal with struggle love? And if that's the case, then why are we sitting here believing that things are other than what they are? Because that means we're not on the same page. We're not sharing things out loud. We're not just talking about it. That means we're shucking and jiving and massaging and swaying to hide the truth and protect our feelings. Why you got to be like that? So that means somebody's going to deliver this Hail Mary information that the other side didn't know, but then that means that they were withheld from. Or suddenly the other side wants to pursue a relationship when all this time they have had access to the other one and they never took a decision. Why do you got to lose the thing that's most important to recognize its value and importance? See, it's not romantic. Because another interpretation for the emperor and the empress in a reading would be rulers of a nation. But it's not that. Because then we would have the king and queen of swords or the king and queen of wands. We have the king and queen of cups, which could mean parents or people that are soulmates. But the soulmate union hasn't anchored into the physical, but the lovers card isn't present. Right now, we need to discover and go on this bond. And if there is another party, this other party is looking at their options or they're trying to manifest something. Honestly, they feel performative to me. And the Queen of Swords, they're not going to respond to anything performative. You didn't speak it, it doesn't exist. Because there's this energy here of la inimica. Somebody here is holding a resentment. La falsita, hiding in plain sight. We're virginal. Doesn't mean chaste. It means inexperienced in some way. And they're sitting there with a resentment and tears, but they're going to come back through. I'm going to leave it be. So what is the emperor with all of these fours? Okay, Lamante. Okay, and the emperor is on our side. So perhaps we seem romantic or we're lulling, we're calling to this person there's some type of longing. They're realizing that we're the bee's knees. We got a lot of potentiality, things that haven't even been explored yet, and there's a lot. Seven of it's gran consolazione. It's the great constellation. There's more to discover with us, but that's just the thing. Now you're spinning the block. Oh, what is this? What is this? Don't be like that. But people do what they do. And you're either growing together or you're growing apart. And if it's okay and mutually beneficial on each side, who am I to say anything? I gotta know what this Hierophant with the Two of Cups is. That seems to me like a relationship, especially with the Ten of Wands here. Okay, something's suddenly gonna turn around. Yes, we usually use this card as the thief, but okay, well, it if we were to tell it like it is, that actually would make their heart warm. And there's some kind of discovery here. I actually think that the situation ended because they couldn't stop talking about us. They went out and found them somebody that they thought wanted them when really the whole time it's that they thought that we didn't want them. And then this card came right back. Right back. Lamante, the wooer. You know, they sit under your window with their boombox or the guitar, strumming the pain with their fingers. Yeah, something here is stuck and it's not moving. And we're going to get a message. Literally, the messenger and the actual message are here. He's carrying a note. It's here. Messaggeri and la lettera. So something about the pop. I want to know what this Five of Swords and the. So they went out and thought what they found was love, and it turned out that this fake love got burnt off. They manifested something, but it wasn't the thing that they were looking for. It wasn't authentic. Okay, I'm going to tell you what this is because the person that they found did want what they wanted, but it was like they were both looking for something, and so it clicked with them, but they got love and affection and warmth and nurturing. When really, if they knew what we wanted, they would never have chosen the other side. They're gonna find out after the fact when they go digging around really what's up. And they're gonna realize that love was there the whole time, but they were being inauthentic or contrivial with us. So they didn't get the truth, or the truth came in a way they couldn't perceive it. What is this Five of Wands, Ten of Wands? Because it's saying there was a plan of blessing that turned into a long-term karmic cycle. And when they started to face the fact that this relationship that they got in was boring and that they felt rejected, then something's going to manifest to us. Because they didn't want to feel like, I'm going to say this word, they didn't want to feel like, lame, or sometimes the word is loser. It wasn't that. It was like a decline or destabilization. They had to look at themselves in a way that made them uncomfortable. A moment of discomfort came and they didn't lean in and do the work. They kind of, I wouldn't say flee, but they went to something that was working or resonating. And I get resonance, that makes sense. But see, they're going to learn something here and we're going to be like, okay, well, I've gone through all this. Whoa. I can't just suddenly turn on and be all happy and be all, pleasant. It's not about holding a grudge or bringing up the past, but the past is still I'm still in the past relatively. Like you've moved on and gone into your future and it didn't work out for you, so now you're coming back. But I haven't, I don't have a lot of new energy to process. So the past is still, particularly the present. Because one thing that's being said here is like, we could paint them a picture. And whatever they find out is going to explode their world. We have judgment on our side, which says this revelation isn't shocking, it's just far and wide reaching. Anything else here? I want to know what this Empress with the Eight of Swords is, because that's shielding and it's a message from the, oh, gee, message from the other side. Dottore. So it can be that they're needing medicine, they have medicine to provide. Yeah, see, they're moving kind of in secret. They are moving intentionally. And we have, I don't know, we're this suitor, it seems like yeah, the suitor is the word that I'm getting. Gee, man, that's intense. That's really intense. So we have a message here. It's a combination. It's not a correspondence. This double 10, 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles. It's saying that, okay, so sometimes this happens, and I don't really know what to say here, where a friend is coming asking us questions and we're not taking them seriously because we're looking at them as a friend. They're talking about taking us out to dinner or whatever, and we don't hear the word date. They're calling themselves a friend, so we're not hearing the word romantic interest. And so we may minimize or dismiss what they're saying or the truth of what they're saying because of how it's presented. Something here was not presented the right way, and there's a discovery coming. Letterato here, but it's lettero. Like there's a discovery coming. Because letterato is like the researcher or the investigator. This is discovery. Pictura. A situation matures. Letterata. It comes to its completion. It emerges from the chrysalis or the cocoon. And again, it's coming. So we're good, but we're good alone. Once they bring their energy in, we're going to be agitated because they're upsetting our peace, and we see lettera. Some information like evidence. There's going to be a moment of closeness, intimacy, revelation, insider access that's temporary and fleeting. When they're like, okay, well now I have to go back out to the world when you've let me inside, and now I don't want to leave. Is kind of what I'm getting. Yeah, something's coming back here, and it's a joy of the heart when finally there's been closeness and intimacy, but it's been there the whole time. And the thing is, we were ready to give this to them a long time ago, and when it got taken off the table, we can't just go find it again. That's what I'm getting. I could read this till we're blue in the face. I'm gonna read one more thing. This Emperor and Empress together is we need 100% clarity, or this is not going to go anywhere because this other person thinks it's their chance, and we're like, homie, you're in my way, and I will walk over your rotting corpse if you stand in the way to what I want. Be clear, be precise. That's kind of what we're saying to this other side. So this was a reading about. First of all, I wanted to be clear. This was a reading about a message about divine will versus free will. We were kind of focused on something and missed something that came right to our doorstep. And it's union, it's twin flame union. We were supposed to be blessed with twin flame union. But also I feel like we were focused on something. Maybe we were sitting on the grind, maybe we were chasing down money. There was some kind of sideways message about that. When really everything will set into place when we're where we're supposed to be. And where we're supposed to be is in our divine path. That divine path also includes some type of partnership, divine union. We may have a kingdom spouse. We're right around the corner from a win when there's been a lot of losses. And we're going to have to, like, you know, turn the engine over, like restart. When you turn in the ignition and the car won't start right away, we might have to turn the car all the way off and turn it all the way back on. Or we might have to go to like a different direction. There's some kind of shift in energy, and wherever we're being invited to, whatever's inviting us to shift the energy, we're kind of like, dude, give me some space. And that's not the thing we'll be doing. But I want to be very clear when this invitation to shift to change comes along, they need to be clear on what they want. If we're looking at it at its face value and it's still not hitting our metrics, our standards, our values, our boundaries, we still got to say no. Talk to the hand. But if they can say something where we can like, okay, I'm gonna give you just a couple few seconds here to consider what you're saying, and if it does hit and it keeps hitting, I don't know what to call this because this is some kind of shift in energy. It's about a restart or a return to our sovereign path because it has to deal with the calling on our life, which very much may include a union, communion, partnership, a connection with another individual. I'm going to say a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the sea of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional, loving, universal oneness. We love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, your path illuminated, and that you find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. Until we meet again, until we read again, Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe. Sayonara, Das Vidanya, Vida. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be whole, may you be at peace, may you receive everything you ever wanted, starting with what you deserve. Take good care. We'll see you in the next one. Go ahead and press that like button. Bye-bye.